The next error that we are going to talk about is called complete reversal of entries. This is an error that occurs when both entries are recorded in the wrong side of the account, which means an account that was supposed to be debited may have been credited. The account that was supposed to be credited has been debited. For example, we have a transaction which says purchase motor vehicle of $25,000 paid in check. Bank account has been debited and motor vehicle account has been credited by 25,000. Now notice the transaction that we had, the first line that we have is it mentions that we have purchased motor vehicle and paid by check. So according to this, we should have debited motor vehicle account since we have purchased it, which is a non-current asset, and we should have credited bank account since we have paid funds out of our bank account. But instead of that, we have debited the bank account and credited the motor vehicle account, which means we have reversed the correct entry and entered the values in the wrong side of the accounts. So before we go on to correct this error, we need to learn this rule, which says we need to reverse the wrong entry and record with double the actual amount. So this is a very important part. We need to record double the actual amount. The actual amount in this case is $25,000, but while we would be correcting the error, we need to enter 50,000 on both sides of the accounts. Now, the reason is, let's see, we have $25,000, double of that is $50,000. So why 50,000? First, break down this 50,000 into two parts of 25,000 and 25,000. So remember the transaction. We have debited bank account and credited motor vehicle account by 25,000. Now let's talk about the bank account first. The bank account in this case was supposed to be credited, but we have by mistake debited this account. So look at the situation. We have 25,000 on the debit side of the bank account, which is an incorrect entry. Now, in order to correct this entry, we have to enter $25,000 in the credit side of the bank account. Like we have to make sure that there is $25,000 on the credit side of the bank account, and the $25,000 that we have entered on the debit side by mistake is not there anymore. So while correcting it, if we enter $25,000 on the credit side of the bank account, then this will not correct the entry totally. Why? Because this $25,000 will only offset the $25,000 that's on the debit side of the bank account. But if we enter $50,000 on the credit side of the bank account, then half of it will first offset the $25,000 that we have on the debit side of the bank account. And the rest will be in order to make sure that the entry, the real original entry, has been entered for the transaction that has taken place. And the same will be taking place for the motor vehicle account as well. The motor vehicle account was supposed to be debited by $25,000, but we have by mistake credited it. So if we enter $50,000 on the debit side of motor vehicle account, half of it will first offset the $25,000 that we have entered on the credit side by mistake. So the error has been offset. And after that, the rest of the $50,000, which is $25,000, will be related to the transaction that we have just been working with. So in order to correct this error, it's very easy. We need to reverse the wrong entry. So bank account debited and motor vehicle credited, reversed makes it motor vehicle account debited and bank account credited by double the original amount, which is $50,000. And the narration for this error is correction of complete reversal of entries, purchase of motor vehicle by check, debited to bank account and credited to motor vehicle account. It's very simple. We have just mentioned the error that we have corrected and the situation that we have just come across. The next error that we are going to talk about is called compensating errors. When errors cancel out each other, causing the trial balance to eventually balance, these errors are referred to as compensating errors. For example, let's say you have made a wrong entry of $100 on the debit side of an account, and a few days later you make the same mistake but on the credit side of an account by the same amount, which is $100. Now these two errors are going to offset each other, and the trial balance will eventually match despite the error that you have made, or the errors that you have made, since we have made two errors, one on the debit side and one on the credit side. Let's say we have this transaction. A business's purchase day book adds up to $100 too much. At the same time, its sales day book adds up to $100 too much. Now, you have made two mistakes, one in the purchase day book and one in the sales day book. Now, purchase falls on the debit side of the trial balance. So we can say that due to this mistake, the first one, the debit side of the trial balance is overvalued by $100. On the other hand, sales day book, which is a calculation of revenue, falls on the credit side of the trial balance. So we can say that the credit side of the trial balance is also overvalued by $100. So since both sides of the trial balance have been overvalued by $100, the trial balance, despite these two errors, will eventually balance. So in order to correct them, we just have to offset these two mistakes. Purchase day book have been overvalued by $100. So purchase is a debit item. In order to subtract the $100 that we have mistakenly added or overvalued, we need to credit this account. And the same for sales day book. Sales day book, which is revenue, is a credit item, and we have overvalued that by $100 as well. So in order to reduce the value, we have to debit this account. So we are going to debit revenue account by $100 as well. So revenue account has been debited by $100, and purchase account has been credited by $100 as well. And the narration is going to be correction of compensating errors, purchases and sales day books adding up to $100 too much.